When I think of winter, I often imagine a thick forest with snow falling down, quiet and peaceful. Episode 5 is my attempt to capture this image from my mind. And I found the perfect tangle. Taiga by Tomàs Padrós. And I hope I'm saying your name right, but I could be mispronouncing it. Tomàs is from Spain, and he has some of the most fascinating tangles. I just love drawing his tangles. And this one is no exception. Hello, precious friends. My name is Brenda Campbell. I'm an artist and a certified Zentangle teacher. Welcome to this video and welcome to my channel. In this episode, I will guide you through the 8 steps of the Zentangle Method. Practicing this meditative art form helps to bring us mindfulness and presence, the ability to be right here, right now. This is art for everyone. So grab some supplies, find a cozy spot, and relax as we draw some winter tangles. Now, before we begin, let me tell you what I am going to be using. Now, I am using a black micron PN pen, a Jelly Roll number 10 nib, which is a fat nib, Jelly Roll white pen, and a Jelly Roll Stardust pen in a green. Mine is kind of a blue-green, but any green will do. These 3 pens are all from Sakura. And I have a General's Layout extra black pencil to do my shading with today, and a tortillon for that. I also have white chalk and a tortillon for my white chalk. And let's talk a moment about our tiles. Now, these are just Zentangle Phi tile and a classic 3.5-inch square tile. And I've added watercolor paint to these tiles, and I'm going to show you how I do that, so don't worry. And we have, I've let them dry, so they've been dried overnight, and we are ready now to begin drawing on them. And then last but not least, I have my little Dove chocolate with me today because, I don't know, I just think, sometimes I think Zentangle calls for chocolate. And the doves always have a nice little saying inside. So let me see what we have today. Joy is contagious. I kind of love that little saying. So we begin this project with a little bit of painting on our tiles. Some of you had asked for more Zentangle Inspired Art, and so this is a project that we're going to consider it a Zentangle Inspired Art, or a ZIA project, because we're going to be adding watercolors. Now, I have a very inexpensive watercolor brush. I would not use this if I were going to do any level of detail, but for what we're doing today, it will be fine, so any brush will work. I have a bottle of water, a spray bottle, that I'm going to use to help wet the tiles first. And then I have my 3 shades of watercolor paints. These are Peerless watercolor paints. They have been around for a really, really long time. And I like them because they come on these flat sheets of paper that you can cut and make your own palettes. I just use a double stick tape to adhere them to a piece of watercolor paper. I even reuse them, as you can see. This is just scrap watercolor paper. And then I have a turquoise blue, I have a blue-green, and I have a bright blue. So basically a light blue, a dark blue, and a turquoise. And then I have my paper towels. So that's what we're using to add our color. I'm going to go ahead and make some space, and then I'm going to add this piece of paper towel so that I kind of contain my water. Like I said, I'm going to spray this first. So I've got my water bottle. Ooh, I must have had some. I've got paint on my fingers, and so if I touched it, once I add water, as you can see, there's already some color there, but that's okay, not to worry. So here are my colors, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use only two on this one, the light green and the dark green. And what I want to do is get my brush. It was already wet, and now I'm loading it up with some paint. And then I'm going to add this from one corner and just kind of make it go outward. I am going to fill the entire tile. So I will go to the edges. And I'm trying to do this quickly because there's no right or wrong way to do it. I'm just trying to fill in this tile with paint. And so I picked up a little bit more. Where I had those spots of color, like orange dots from something, where the green goes over it, kind of makes it brown, which is kind of cool. Gives our little tile some texture. Okay, so I want to make sure this green goes all the way down. One side each here. Okay. So now I am going to get rid of that green, even though it's not terribly important because we're going to be blending. And I'm going to pick up this darker green. It's kind of a blue green. And now I'm going to do the same thing from the other direction. There's some water pooling up here, so I'm just kind of letting it flow down. And I have a big fuzzy sweater on today, so I keep finding fuzz everywhere. That's okay. And I'm doing the same thing, except for now it's going to blend with that lighter green in the center. That's what we want. So it's all good. Paper is warping, the tile is warping a little bit. That's what happens when you add water to paper. Even watercolor paper will warp depending on how heavy it is. And this will dry nicely, so don't worry about the tiles if they're warping. I think we're just about done with this one. I know it might look a little weird at the moment. That's okay. We're going to go ahead, put this aside, and then I'm going to grab another. Let me just get some water going here. Okay. Now I'm going to grab my Phi tile, and this one we're going to do a little different. I did the same thing by adding some water, just by spraying it. Looks like I got some on my paint too, but it's all good. So the first thing I'm going to paint now is going to be with this turquoise blue. You don't need a whole lot. This paint will really go a long way. So let's go ahead and put this turquoise kind of as a border all around. do want it to go to the edge. I've got a lot of water here. It's a good thing these tiles hold up well, because they do. So don't worry. And they'll dry pretty fast. So I'm just pulling this in a little bit to push that center down so it doesn't all flow off the edge. On one side, one of the shorter sides, I want to add some extra paint to make this a little darker than the other side. I'm just trying to, it should be darker around the edges a little bit, which is fine. Darker at the top. And then the bottom third, perhaps, is just really all blue, but it's, hopefully it's not quite as dark as what's on the top. There we go. That's looking better. Okay, now get some of this blue off. Not worried too much about it, because all these colors are going to blend together. So next I want to come in here with this lighter green, and I'm going to have that come above this top blue section. And I'm just blending that in, blending it up into the blue. So there's a little blue and a lot of green. And it'll be darker green on as you go down, lighter on the top. Okay. And now I'm going to pick up some of this darker green. I put a mark on there with my fingernail, I think, when I was holding it down in the center. Oh well, no mistakes, it's all good. And then I'm leaving the bottom a light blue, and I'm blending this darker green up into the lighter green and taking it to the sides. Okay, I think we're done with that one now. So I'm just going to set this aside with the other one for the moment. I'm going to put my paint away. Bring my tiles back so you can see they're still wet, and we are not going to be able to work on them until they're completely dry. So there we have our two painted tiles. We're going to let them dry a little bit. I'm just seeing if I can soften that edge there. It's no big deal. Okay, no more reworking too much. Okay, and that's it. So we're going to step away. We're not going to touch our tiles. We're just going to leave them for a good 10-15 minutes. If you have a little air dryer, you could maybe blow some air on it and dry it faster, but I'm just going to leave them, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to draw our patterns. Okay, friends, let's go ahead and get comfortable where we are. We're going to begin the 8 steps of the Zentangle method with step 1, gratitude and appreciation. In this step, we are simply going to do some breathing and some reflecting. So let's begin with 3 big breaths. Breathing in fully and breathing out slowly. Another big breath in, getting tall as we inhale and out, and just relax as we exhale. One more big breath in and out. Now just let your breath fall back into its natural breathing rhythm and just pay attention to it. Notice it as you breathe in and out. And try to settle a little more into this moment with every exhale. Now take a moment to think of something that you are grateful for. And once you find it, notice how you feel. How does gratitude feel? Remember this feeling, and as we draw today, if you find yourself getting a little flustered, maybe you're just rushing a bit, it's okay. Just stop. Take a big breath in and a slow breath out. Remember this feeling, and then you'll be ready to draw again. And that, my friends, is all there is to step 1, gratitude and appreciation. Before we start drawing our tangle Taiga, let's talk a little bit about the origin of its name. I had to do a little bit of research to understand if Taiga was a word. Sometimes we name our patterns, our tangles, with nonsense words, but Taiga is in fact a word, and it is a word that is associated with the Boreal Forest. Now, Taiga is a Russian word. It translates to mean land of the little sticks. And boreal is a Latin word that means northern. So imagine northern lights, aurora borealis. The boreal forest, or the taiga, is a coniferous forest. So it's an evergreen forest that is found below the Arctic Circle and below the tundra, between the rest of the planet and the Arctic. So it's like this ring of forest that surrounds the Arctic Circle. And I just thought that's kind of a cool concept. And when I continued to research, I discovered that another name for taiga is snow forest. And that one really appealed to me for my Winter Tangles series. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our tangle taiga. I'm not doing dots in the corner. I'm not doing a border, and I'm not doing a string. And I'm doing that on purpose because I want to bring this tangle all the way to the edges of this tile. So taiga begins with a series of straight lines. And my first one is going to go from the top to the bottom of the diagonal across the square. Now, I have a lighter side and a darker side to my tile. And this is not the tile that I painted in the painting section of the video, because I had a camera faux pas when I was drawing that particular one. So we're going to try it again. And I just painted a new tile, and this one has been sitting for about 20 minutes, maybe a little more than 20 minutes, but it feels dry enough to go ahead and start. So if you painted along with me and you also have a lighter side and a darker side, I would put the lighter side at the top. So not that there's a top and a bottom, but for now I would consider that to be the top. There are no mistakes, so do not be concerned if you did not paint your tile this way, or even if maybe you didn't even paint your tile. It's all okay. So there's my first line. I'm using my black micron pen. And now I'm going to draw a second line that is an aura of this line. And an aura is simply another line that follows the same pattern as the line next to it, or the line it's auraing. And so I'm going to make these pretty wide, maybe about an inch wide. And then I'm going to do one more on this side. Then I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing. Now I'm auraing the same center line, but I'm going to do it on this side. Taking my time, just trying to keep my aura consistent. Okay, so this is how we begin. From here, we are going to add some dots next to these lines. So I'm going to start at the top here, and I am going to put, two lines closer to the center. The next two lines go farther away from the center, so they're closer to the lines next to the center line. And then we come down and we do another closer to the center and another farther away. And then we can do maybe one more closer to the center here. And now we use the same pattern, but we're going to use it over here for this line. So we're going to put this close and this one farther away, close, and then farther away would be off of the tile. So we'll go ahead and put one of these here, and then we're going to flip it around, and now we're going to do these lines. So we start with one that's close, and then we have one that's farther away, closer to the center, and then farther away would be off the tile. So then we'll just put another one here. So now what we're going to do is we are going to connect these dots, and we are going to do it in a way that I'm going to use a curved line, a little bit of a curved line, and it's going to do an opposite curve. I don't know if I'm explaining it, so just watch and let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to curve this that way. And then I want to mirror this curve on the opposite side. So I'm going to do this one that way, and now I have a mirror image. My next line is going to come down like this to connect to that dot, and then a mirror over here. And then we just repeat that, curving that direction, and then that direction, and then that direction, and then that direction. Do the same thing over here. Always doing the opposite of what is on the other side. To give you a mirror image. This will go off the tile. And then we'll come back over here. Okay, and that is the beginning of our tangle Taiga. Now, what we want to do next is to think of these areas where they go, where they meet up here, as this is, say, a strap or a ribbon that's going underneath here. And the reason that is helpful is because we are going to draw some little darkened shapes on each side to help us with that illusion. So if this is coming up, okay, so now you can imagine this line coming out and around. And this is, it's going behind this little stripe there. Let's do that again on this side. So again, you can imagine this oval that this is going into. And that's what we're going to do. That's the next step. So each one that I do, I try to imagine that circle or oval going around it to guide the shape. I don't always do a very good job. But I've drawn a lot of this tangle now. all of my little shapes are different sizes. And this one down here got really wonky. So we'll just mirror the wonkiness. See how that works. Oh, that's probably a good enough mirror image. Okay, so this really is all you need to do for the lines for this pattern. We could do a little bit more decorating. We certainly don't have to. One thing I did see done that I thought was fun was this aura that you can draw around this, what you want to consider an opening. Then I'm going to turn it around and do the other ones. These all go off, so they kind of get drawn behind. I missed one over here. Okay, I think that is all of them. Nope, I missed one here. You'd think it wouldn't be so easy to miss them, but they are. Okay, now do I have them all? Okay, now I have them all. Okay, so I'm now going to put my pen away, and I am picking up my General's Extra Black Layout pencil. And I'm going to use this for shading because on watercolor it's going to give me a little nicer shading. Sometimes the graphite on top of a watercolor, and this is, I don't know what this is, but I'm assuming it's some type of graphite. But anyway, this seems to work a little better with the watercolor. Gives it a little bit darker shading too. So I'm going to put this everywhere we have one of these sides that goes through that little ribbon spot there. Okay, I think I have some of this on every one of the ones that go through. So now I'm just getting my tortillon, and we're going to blend that out. And we are going to do that really lightly. And we're going to blend it from where we laid it down, pulling it outward away from that line. Oh, I did forget one. See, there's always one. Keep missing the outside one, so I think maybe I'll just start with those. Okay, all the outside ones done. Yay. Okay, so now I'm going to start doing the inside ones. Once you work the shading on this particular tangle, you really start to see the woven aspect of it. You can say, oh yeah, they do look like they're kind of going over and under each other. Is that all of them? Looks like it is. Okay, that is our tangle Taiga, and we have finished step 5, the pattern, and step 6, the shading. Now we are moving to step 7, which is initial and sign. So I have my pen back out, my black micron, and I'm just going to put my little chop. I think I'm going to put it right here and kind of tuck it underneath. So let's see how that goes. Not too bad. Then we flip it over and we sign it. I always date mine off camera, but I encourage you to put a date on your tiles. It'll be really nice to go back and compare your first tile to your 100th tile, and you'll be able to notice some improvements or some progress. Not that it matters. This is all about the journey. We can also add any notes we like. So I'm going to put that this is the Tangle Taiga. And this is by Tomàs Padrós. And there we have our Taiga pattern. And step 8 is simply to sit back and appreciate again. So kind of appreciate the time you took for this, appreciate the fun little piece of art, and I know I appreciate you. But stick around, we've got one more to go. So let's set this first tile aside, and we're going to pick up our second tile. Now, when I was painting this one, if you recall, I had a blue that kind of went all around the outside, more blue on the bottom, and then some light green and some darker green in the center. And this was intentional. This is Zentangle Inspired Art, simply by virtue of the fact that we are adding color. But we are creating a little winter scene with this tile, and that's why we painted it like this. So I am gonna begin. I'm not gonna do the dots or the border. And for a string, I'm going to get my white chalk pencil. Here it is. And I'm going to draw a line that just kind of loosely, about a third of the way up. Maybe right where the blue kind of ends. And I am just going to make this curvy line. Kind of an S curve, a shallow S curve. And that's my string. That's all I'm going to do. This tile will also go to the edges, and that's why I skipped step 2 and step 3. So we're going to begin this tile with our white pens. And let me try my 10. That's what I had, I think, in the materials. But then I think it stopped working. So we're going to give this a shot. We are going to draw the Tangle Sand Swirl. And this is by Carrie Hune. And this tangle begins with these lines, these curvy lines that end with like a circle on the end. So if you're familiar with the pattern fescue, they look similar to fescue. And that's how we begin. But we're not going to do them individually. We're going to do a few of these curvy lines first. So I'm going to put another one that comes over here. If you're trying to redraw a line with your Jelly Roll pen, you have to almost not even touch it. Just let that ink flow right on out. And let's see, let's do another one, maybe that doesn't come up so far. And then we'll have this one, comes up like that. I think we need one more, but I'm going to go ahead and start working with these, and then I will decide where to put that extra one. So the next step in Sand Swirl is starting inside the line underneath the rounded section. We are going to draw an aura of that initial line. And I like to work these all together so one doesn't get too big. So I will draw one on each one. And then I'll go back and do a second one on each one. I find this to be the best way for me to kind of fill the space. Again, this ink just didn't really flow well on that spot, so I just redrew it. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of wipe off some of this gunky white. I just put it right on my finger. I just have to be careful not to touch my art. Okay, there we go. This is water soluble though, so it'll wash off. Okay, so let's do one more around each one, and I'm starting with this one. No reason other than there's a skinnier section here. Kind of like to fill that in before I start drawing behind. My next line here will go behind this guy, so I don't want to do that yet. So again, okay. So now these two are touching if I do one more. These two are definitely touching if I do one more. So I'm going to go ahead and start over here with this guy. Stopping when I reach that next sand swirl, as if he's drawn behind. So I'm going to keep going till I come out on the other side. Then I'll do one more. Again, stopping when I hit that next sand swirl. And it just barely comes out there. And I'm going to do one more. Now you have to be careful that this jelly roll doesn't smear, because it does take a little minute to dry. Okay. And let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and draw this one more around this guy. The ones we do next are the ones that are going to go behind, and the ones that go behind can go a long time. They can be lots of auras, like this one has a lot of auras. This one only has a couple. This one only has a couple. That's okay. Should I do one more? I need to do a fifth one somewhere. Maybe I will do one more on this one, and then I'll decide where I want to do my fifth line. Okay, let me see. Maybe this one comes out from, actually, do I need to do this first? I had not gone all the way around behind this guy. Okay, now I have to do another one. And this will go behind as well. So maybe this one comes up from here. No, that won't work. Well, maybe this one will come in from the side, and this will be a little one. I think that will work. This is a really fun pattern, and it's one of the ones, another one that I had learned early in my Zentangle practice, and I just really like the way that the lines connect. Makes for some real nice shading when we get to step 6. Well, maybe I'll do another aura here first. See, I got white ink on my finger because I set my finger down on wet ink, but I didn't smear it. I could feel it right away, so I lifted my hand up. Okay, so let's go this way so I won't touch it again. Putting a little one in here because I want to fill this space. And I could just keep going around some of the ones I already had, but I did not think that would be interesting enough. But this works. Okay, it kind of follows my line. Basically, I'm filling in like the bottom third of my tile with my white Tangle sand swirl. And the next thing I want to do is pick up my Sakura Stardust Jelly Roll pen, and this is like the glitter pen. There's a little star, I don't know if you can see it there, on the pen. That's how you know it's the Stardust line. And this is just like glitter inside of the gel. And we are going to draw Taiga on top. And I'm just going to draw 3 lines. And I'm going to start way up here where the green and the blue meet. And coming all the way down to my white line of my white ink line. I'm ignoring my white pencil, my white chalk pencil down there. The next line is going to come down, and it is going to angle just slightly inward towards that center line. And then we're going to draw another line over here. Kind of does the same thing. So we have our 3 lines for our Taiga. Now we are going to begin down here with our 2 dots close to our center line. Then we're going to come down and put 2 more dots close to our center line. And then in between these, we're going to put 2 dots close to that center, or that line on the right. And then again, 2 dots, the same spot, close in on the line on the left. And then again, down here, close together. And then this might actually be underneath. No, actually, let's see. Yeah, we can get those in. Okay, and then we need one out here. And we need another one out here. Okay. I think, oh, nope, another one out here. And another one out here. Okay, now I think we have our dots. And we're going to begin with our lines on the side. And if you need to, you can make it a little longer. Our first line, curved line, is going to be from the top of that side line to the dot that's close into the center line. Then we're going to come over here with the mirror to that. And then we're going to alternate the curve. Continuing on down. And then it will go behind the sand swirl. Okay, so let's do that again to the second one. And I think I might extend this line up a little bit. Okay, so if you think of Taiga as like the snow forest, these points are the tops of the trees in the forest. Makes it a little easier to know where those points go. And now we come up to the top, the center line, and we are going to draw this as if it goes behind here. We'll do the same thing over here. Okay. So there's our beginning of our taiga. So now let's do what we've been doing, and we are going to put our shapes in here. This is the side that's always hard for me. And I try to mirror them. Sometimes they still don't work out like I want. Okay. Then this one. the hardest part, I think, for me, is that every time you add one of these, it's really more than one. You're adding it for two. It has to line up to this one, and it has to line up to this one. And sometimes it's not easy to get them right. So I have to really focus. But that's okay. Probably could have done that one better. No mistakes. I think I have them all. They're not all very symmetrical. This one got really wonky, but that's okay. No mistakes, remember? Okay, so we have our lines and we have our shapes here. And technically we're finished with our pattern, right? But we're going to decorate this one a little bit more. And I think I want to add some more of these lines just to kind of emphasize the going under and over. I'm going to start in the center. I still have my green Jelly Roll Stardust pen. And from that center line, I'm going to try to mirror this curve with a line that comes down. And we can do 3 of them. We can do 4 of them. I'm going to do 4 on this guy. And come up here and do the same thing. There's 1, 2, 3, and there's another one. And we're going to flip it around and we'll mirror it here. Do this one. Maybe we only get 3 in this guy. He's a little skinnier. so now I have my lines on my Taiga, so I'm happy with that. And I'm going to go ahead and put my Sakura Stardust Jelly Roll pen. There's a little star on this side too. Putting that to the side was my green pen. You can do this with any pen. It doesn't have to be green. It does not even have to be glitter pen. I see here I got some of that green on top of my white line. So I'm going to come back in here, grab my 10, and I'm going to try to go over top of that. To bring my white line back. That worked out pretty good. I think we're good over there. Okay, so now that is fixed. I can put my white away. And I think now we're going to go ahead and start doing some shading. So let's begin with our sand swirl. And we're going to use our white chalk to shade our sand swirl. We are going to begin by drawing a little bit of chalk, laying down some white chalk right next to this first curved line we drew for each of these little rounded sections. So I'll get this one over here. So from that little white rounded end down on that side of the line. Okay, then we're going to go in, and everywhere there's one in front or one behind, we are going to add some chalk where they meet, and we're going to put that on the one that is behind. Okay, I think that's all of it. And then I want to also add a little bit to the inside of this tangle, right at the line where it meets the Taiga. But it's inside the sand swirl. It's not shading outside. Okay, so I'm going to grab my tortillon that I have for my white. Doesn't look very white, but it'll be fine. And I'm going to start shading out or blending out that white chalk around those initial lines. Okay, now I'm going to start going around. Didn't put any chalk there, so maybe I can. No, gotta put some chalk there. Okay. white chalk does blend a lot differently than the graphite. And I like the way it blends on top of the watercolor. Not so much on just a regular tile, but that's really just because I find it doesn't, it kind of gets blended off. It doesn't stay on the tile. I don't know if the watercolor maybe helps it a little bit to stick to the paper, but I like it better with the watercolor. If you want a little on the edges, you can just add a little extra on the edges. I'm just applying this with the side of the tip of my chalk pencil. And then I blend it with the side of the tip of my tortilla. So I do like that on the edges. Okay, I think I'm happy with my sand swirl, so we are now finished with that. Let me get my black layout pencil again, and we are going to use this to shade our taiga, and we are just coming right above that line where one goes under another. If you had a green chalk pencil, you could shade with that as well. Okay, I think we can just blend out this layout pencil, and we're pulling it in away from that line into the section that goes under. It would be the darkest right at the line, and then you would blend it out a little bit lighter past that. Ooh, I forgot a space. There's always one. Okay. trying to keep this off of that Stardust ink. Don't know if I'm doing a very good job, but I'm trying. I should have done this one first. We have quite a bit on our tortillon here, so I'm going to use that to add some contrast right next to the white sand swirl. So use that to help get rid of that white chalk line. I think this is looking pretty good. Okay. So we have our Taiga, we have our sand swirl. Oops, I just keep missing spots. And what we've done by adding this dark layout pencil to give us some shading is we've really darkened up our Taiga tangle. And so I want to bring some of the lightness back to it. And I'm getting my white chalk pencil back out. And I am going to add some white in the center areas of my Taiga. I'm turning that chalk pencil. So I'm putting it heavier on the left side. There's no rhyme or reason to it. There's certainly no right or wrong way to do it. It just kind of goes over that center line a little bit. Okay, and let's go ahead and blend this out. Now, again, I'm just very lightly using circular motions, blending this white out, trying to get rid of any lines the chalk might have left. Just making it lighter and softer a little bit. Sometimes I go over it different directions to help blend it a little better. Okay. Looks a little dark where it mixes with some of that layout pencil. So we'll see how this works. And I'm losing a lot of my glitter, my sparkle, because I'm putting this white chalk on top of it. That's okay. It's all about contrast. That's what step 6 is. We've done our adding darkness. Now we're adding light or highlights, if you will. Oh, we're starting to get there. Okay, so I think we're done with adding the white highlight to our tree. Now I'm going to get my green stardust pen back out. And I'm going to try to bring some of the sparkle back. I'm not going to do a lot, maybe even just the center line. I'm just drawing right over top of that line. So I'm going very slowly. I don't know, then maybe I need to redraw my areas, my little shapes. Bring some sparkle back to that. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I don't really want to have to redraw every one of those lines, so maybe I will just do the outline. See if that helps. I do think that going over these initial curvy lines are helping bring back some of that sparkle. That's all I'm looking for. Just a little bit of sparkle. Okay, I think that's all of the lines. And I'm getting my jelly roll back out because I see I went over my white line, my white jelly roll. So we're gonna Okay. Good, maybe this is just some of that layup. It's all darkened up that white line. Okay, now I am going to keep my pen, my white pen out, and we are going to imagine that there is snow. So we're adding a third pattern. This is a Zentangle pattern, but you may recognize it also as a mathematical symbol. It's called therefore, and we're just going to use this to represent some snow. And it's just these 3 dots that are kind of stuck together, forming a little triangle. And I'm not really sure what it is about this pattern, therefore, but with this design anyway, it seems to look nicer as snow than just random dots. And I think that is all we need. Oh, maybe I need one here. This looks like I need one right here. I think that works. And that is all we need for our shading and highlights. And then we added this in. I wanted to add it last so it wouldn't get covered up with any of the shading that we did or the chalk. And that's why I waited until we were done with the chalk. So now we're going to move to step 7, which is initial and sign. And I'm going back. You know, I think I will use my jelly roll, my white jelly roll. And I'm going to put my chop. I think I'm going to put it right here in this center, and I'm going to kind of tuck it underneath the sand swirl. And there's my chop, or my initials. If you don't have a chop, just use your initials. And then we flip it over. Now I'm going to want to make sure it's dry, because that jelly roll ink takes a little moment, but it looks pretty dry. So I'm going to flip it over, but I don't think I'm going to use my white pen on the back. I'll go back to my black pen. And we sign it. We date it. But I always date mine off camera. I do encourage you to date yours though, because it's fun to compare as you continue to progress with your practice. And then if you want, we can name the tangles that we used. So we began with Taiga, and that was from Tomàs Padrós. And then we had Sand Swirl. And this is by Carrie Hune. And I'm probably not saying that correctly. And that final tangle is Therefore. don't know if I'm spelling that right, but this is a Zentangle tangle. So we had 3 tangles on this tile. We had our sand swirl down here. We have our taiga with our trees. We have our snow with our therefore. And step 8 is simply to sit back and appreciate again. So we get to appreciate the time that we took for ourselves today. We get to appreciate this fun little piece of art. It's also nice to take some time for yourself, so it's always good to appreciate that. And I appreciate each and every single one of you. And I will leave you, as I always do, with this thought. Be you and be happy.